Welcome to Sunshine Cathedral's Queer God Squad. It's Wednesday, December 11th, 2024. I am Bishop Darrell Watkins, the senior minister here at Sunshine Cathedral. With me today is Sunshine Cathedral's executive minister, he's also my husband, Bishop Robert Griffin. Sunshine Cathedral's Minister of Connections, the Reverend Dr. Ann Atwell, and Reverend Kevin Tisdall, the Sunshine Cathedral Minister of Education. Visit sunshinecathedral.org to learn more about our progressive faith community and how you can be part of it no matter where you live in the world. And if you live in South Florida, be sure to check out the Sunshine Cathedral Center for the Performing Arts, offering entertainment for the LGBTQ+ community to benefit the LGBTQ+ community. If you enjoy the Queer God Squad, please share this or other episodes with your friends, family, and social media communities. At Sunshine Cathedral, we want you to know that you are God's miracle, not God's mistake.
This is the Sunshine Cathedral perspective. Gay men beaten and chased out of Benin City of Nigeria. On November 17th, 4 men were beaten and chased out of a Nigerian city after they were found engaging in consensual adult intimacy. An angry mob paraded the 4 men in boxing shorts down a street after they had been beaten. One of the men had an obvious wound on his forehead. The mob threatened to kill them if they were to return to the city. The mob also taunted them by asking why they were gay when there were so many women in the area. Samson Mikel, an LGBTQ Nigerian activist, said of the incident, and I quote, "Benin City is one of the backward places in Nigeria, and the people are proud of their roughness. They are never concerned about other crimes or how the government is impoverishing them, but will light gay men on fire," end quote. Mikel said the cause of the violence is misdirected anger. Quoting, "All gay people want is to live and experience love. They are not the cause of the economic meltdown in the country, nor are they the reason why there are no jobs in the streets of Nigeria." The Queer God Squad stands in solidarity with LGBTQ people all over the world, and we are particularly concerned with those whose lives are at risk simply for being who they are. Our prayers are with the queer folks of Nigeria. You know, this is kind of one of those deep stories that reminds you of, I want to say how privileged, how blessed that we are and where we live on some levels, but this is just like an act of violence of people not caring, not respecting each other's dignity, their humanity, and just the nature, almost just the criminality that goes with what the Nigerian government calls for penalties around people, gay people who live in Nigeria, and just how you treat one another. Like this is how you treat one another. You beat people. You do that just because they love differently than you, or just because they express themselves differently than you. And step back. Let's go back to colonistic behavior that brought all this on. So that system is not without it's findings, but at the same time, at some point we have to realize that this is just not how we treat one another.
Yeah.
This is just not humane, and it even should be based on sexuality. But just how do we treat one another? How do we love one another? How do we respect each other? And these acts should be the very basis by which the law is overturned in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Around the criminalization of sodomy laws in Nigeria. And these are the very simple, these guys right here should become the poster board for why we need changes in Nigeria and in other places around the world.
Yeah, I promise somewhere in this, this leads to this, leads to this, leads to this moment, religion's in that.
Oh, yeah.
I promise religion is in that. Which is why a lot of people leave religion, and it's why a lot of people like us are trying to confront religion from the inside, trying to redeem it, trying to save some bit of it. Not that it should save you, but we're here to try to save it so that it can be a social institution, because it always has been, always will be a social institution, but we want it to be a healthy social institution. Family can be jacked up, or it can be good. Government can be jacked up, or it can be good. The economy can be jacked up, or it can be good. Religion can be jacked up, or it can be good. And we want it to be good. This story in Nigeria is an example of when it's jacked up.
Yeah.
When it leads to hatred and fear and division and violence. Because what has demonized LGBTQ plus people is religion. And then once they're demonized, you see them being treated inhumanly because they've been dehumanized. In fact, if you can make them monsters, anything you can make into a monster, well, then it's noble to slay monsters.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm not being mean to a person. I'm not being mean. You know, I'm not being disruptive in my community, or I'm not being unkind. I am slaying the dragon.
Wow.
So, you know, where's my cookie? Where's my flowers? You know, I've done a good thing. And so, yeah, if you can make people believe absurdities, you can make them commit atrocities. So in our rational minds, we think, why can't we just, who cares? Why can't you just, who cares? If every gay guy in town was together at the same time, having a big, huge orgy, who cares? How would you even know? And somebody peered through a window and squealed on them or whatever. And then look at the response: violence, intimidation, humiliation. That's what you do to dehumanize people. That's what you do to make them not persons, to make them monsters that you then slay. But yeah, violence, the head wound, intimidation if you ever come back, and the humiliation, parade in their underwear. That's the dehumanizing
Classic.
formula. But I promise it leads some way back to religion, and that's why we have to apologize for religion's misdeeds and offer a better way of being religious. And to those who just can't because it's just caused too much harm, we get it. Bless you. I hope you find some other way of exploring and experiencing your spirituality. But for those who like what religion can offer, we're gonna do our best to make it safe and life-giving and affirming. And we're going to try to be a fortress where you can be safe from that kind of stuff, and certainly not hear anything that will ever encourage that kind of mess. About God, Thomas Jefferson said, it makes no difference to me if someone has 20 gods or no God. It neither picks my pocket nor breaks my leg. And I think that's true about everything religious. Why do I care if somebody's gay? Why do I want to believe that God's against that, or that God even cares? Why do I care if they're gay? Why do I care how many lovers they have? What do I care if they get married or not? What do I care? It doesn't pick my pocket or break my leg. Why am I so wound up about it? And it's because religion has wound you up. And we need to detoxify religion and get past that. Because really, these people having a good time that day didn't pick my pocket, didn't break my leg.
Not even.
Get over it.
Yep, not even a little bit. You know, when I hear horror stories like this, it gives me a greater appreciation for what it is that we do here at Sunshine Cathedral. Not just here at our address, physical address, but the global fellowship, and how we offer a broadcast ministry to people around the world so that everybody can hear what it is that we offer, that we offer care, that we offer compassion, that we offer a way of looking at the Bible and biblical stories and religion that is affirming rather than demonizing.
I'm going to paraphrase Lyndon Baines Johnson. He once said, and again, I'm paraphrasing because I need it to fit into what I'm talking about. If I can convince the least of the people out there that there's another group out there that is worse than them, that's trying to do them harm, then I don't have to worry about anything. And when I hear the stories about what goes on in countries like Nigeria, the government is a failure. It is one of the worst governments on the face of the planet. So you've got to find a boogeyman. So now you say the queer community is our boogeyman, and we've got to do something about them. We've got to eradicate them because they are the bane of our existence. So I see that happening there. And that is just a matter of projecting the ugliness onto our community. I have a quick story. Years ago, my husband and I just recently celebrated our 37th anniversary. We went to an event one time with his brother and his brother's wife, and his brother pulls me to the side. This is like 36 years ago. And he says to me, almost word for word, what was said in this story: why am I gay when there are so many beautiful women that I could have? So to be able to explain to him the relationship between his brother and me was an educating moment for him. So 37 years later, he now introduces me to the world as his big brother. You can't, I don't believe, hate a person forever once you get to know that person. We see it here in our country very often where a politician will come out and scream about those queers, they won't even say those queers, those faggots, and all of a sudden they wake up and their child is a member of the queer community, and all of a sudden...
Cheney, say what?
And all of a sudden, then the queer community becomes a part of their community, and it's hard to hate someone once they become a part of your community.
Your life.
So here we are at Sunshine Cathedral. Here we are telling them that we are God's miracle, not God's mistake. And when people come in, the first time they come in, they don't necessarily believe our message. They don't believe that we truly feel, because we're a religious community, and how could we feel that way? But after a little bit of watching us and seeing how we perform and how we behave and how we treat everybody in the world, they start understanding, wait a minute, this is a faith-based community that truly preaches the love of God. They truly believe that when Jesus says, love your neighbor as yourself, they truly live that. And that's the secret. You come into our faith-based community and all you do is feel love everywhere.
You know, go ahead. Depending on when, I know when this is going to air, I'm just going to say that we will probably just 2 weeks post a conference that is actually taking place in Africa, where Nigerian people will be attending, that's actually been sponsored through the Global Justice Institute, of which Sunshine Cathedral is a part of. And so I think the timeliness of this story is that reminder that while that conference is taking place, that we are still being able to be agents of change in places we may not ever visit.
Right.
We are being agents of hope for a group of people who would otherwise think that there is no one out there who even cares or is willing to talk to us. So just being 2 weeks after that conference, I'm very hopeful of the outcome. And that's very promising to know that we here at 1480 Southwest St. Avenue in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, has a connection with something that's much larger and life-changing and promising through the Global Justice Institute for that conference.
Love it.
Yeah, we got to wind up. I'm going to end with this story, just a little story from the Bible, in fact, that once upon a time, there were two cities. They were so vile, so cruel, vicious and violent. It wasn't even safe to be out after night. After dark, and so they were going to be destroyed. They were just, God had all that God could stand of that sort of cruelty, of just being mean to people, and where you couldn't even live safely. And so God sends two angels to just level it to the ground. And while the angels are there, sure enough, a man named Lot says, "Please come into my house. You're not safe out here." And they weren't, as it turns out, because once they get inside, every man in the city, now I don't know if that means both cities, because this is Sodom and Gomorrah, but at least Sodom, every man in the city, meaning very small city, or Lot has a huge front yard. But in any case, every man in the city, pounding on the door, says, "Hey, we see you have guests, throw them out to us so that we can rape them," because that's what we want to do. And Lot says, "No, these are my guests, they're under my protection." And then a lot more horrible things happen. He offers his daughters to the gang. The angels blind the gang so that the family can escape. The wife actually doesn't survive, like the escape. She boom. And then Lot and his daughters that he offered to a rape gang have incest in a cave. So it's a really crazy story. But a lot of people try to use that to condemn gay people, even though there's no gay romance, no gay love, no gay attraction in the story. There is a rape gang that says, "Let us hurt strangers." And of course, that's bad. That's very bad. But that's not two people smiling at each other. That's not two people kissing each other. That's not two people having dinner together. That's not even two people having sex. That's not even three people having sex. That is just violent intent, right? And that's the sin of Sodom, is to be mean, to be cruel, to be unfriendly, to be unwelcoming, to target the other and then try to make them miserable, maybe even unsafe, maybe even dead. The sin of Sodom wasn't this group of men having a party, having a good time. The sin of Sodom is how they were treated when they were caught.
Amen. And so it is.
So that's today with the Queer God Squad. We want to thank you for joining us. We're here daily at 3 p.m. to have some fun and to discuss what our LGBTQ plus community is talking about.
Sunshine Cathedral is the world's leading progressive queer church. Progressive, queer, and God are words that naturally should go together.
We all are in this together. Remember that.
You are God's miracle, not God's mistake.
Until next time, we are the Queer God Squad. Goodbye.